You're watching ABC10 Plus Tonight.
Hello everyone, I'm Chris Thomas. You're watching ABC10 Plus Tonight. Will gas prices in the state go up? We're looking into the upcoming vote at the Capitol that could impact prices at the pump. And days away from the election, we answer your questions. Tonight, we talk about political ad censorship. Then we hit the back roads. The destination, Calaveras County, to take a dip in an underground swimming hole. ABC10 Plus Tonight starts now.
In about a week, the California Air Resources Board, also known as CARB, is expected to make a decision that could possibly impact gas prices. There has been a lot of criticism about the upcoming board meeting, and now we're hearing from lawmakers who are asking the board to delay this decision. ABC 10's Jeannie Nguyen joins us in studio tonight with more.
Alex, 2 Republican Assembly members recently sent this letter here to CARB, urging them to delay the upcoming decision, citing what the board chooses to do could make it difficult for millions of California drivers to pay for gas. CARB's executive officer now is telling the public this decision will not financially impact drivers.
CARB shouldn't move forward with the low carbon fuel standard, and we shouldn't implement the legislation until we know the actual impact and what the gasoline market's going to look like.
On November 8th, the California Air Resources Board, or CARB, will be making a decision regarding the low carbon fuel standard, or LCFS. Many lawmakers are concerned that decision could possibly raise gas prices. That's why Republican Assemblymember Joe Patterson wrote this letter asking CARB to delay that decision.
We have already seen a pretty drastic impact, I think, as a result of the legislation coming out of this special session. So why, at the same time, is the state going to potentially increase gas prices?
Last year, lawmakers were told gas prices could increase by 47 cents. Last week, CARB's executive officer, Dr. Stephen Cliff, said that is not an absolute number. And this week, Cliff had another response.
If the LCFS passes next week, will gas costs rise? And my response was, no, I don't expect them to.
The lack of clarity on how much this could cost drivers has Patterson frustrated.
Well, initially they said 47 cents a gallon. Then they said they couldn't predict a number. And then actually yesterday in the press conference, they said, oh, we don't think it's going to cost anything. So I'm not really sure what the truth is.
Even though Cliff wasn't sure about how much this could cost drivers, he was sure about how this would affect oil refineries in the state.
There will be additional impacts and compliance costs to refiners. That is correct, yes.
Leaving Patterson concerned about the future of oil refineries in California.
What is going to end up happening as a result by the closure of these refineries is gas prices are going up because we have to now get more oil from the Middle East and other countries.
A spokesperson for the governor's office says Republicans are trying to take us backwards, adding these policies will save Californians billions every year.
Now, Jeannie, we know you've done the best that you can to simplify this. We know it's a very complicated topic, you guys, but you've really done a great job simplifying it. I do want to mention, though, this could have some really big impacts. So if people at home, if they do want to stay informed, how can they do that?
Well, this upcoming meeting on November 8th, people are actually encouraged to attend this meeting, but it will be held virtually for people who can't attend in person. And the links on how you can attend will be posted on our website at abc10.com.
And of course, we will continue to keep you updated. Jeannie's going to be following this. Jeannie, thank you so much. And we also looked into the cost of a gallon of gas. Right now, drivers pay a state excise tax of about 59 cents per gallon, according to caltax.org. California drivers also pay a federal fuel tax that's a little over 18 cents per gallon, plus state costs for the low carbon fuel standard, the cap and trade program, state and local sales tax, and the underground storage fee. Altogether, for gas priced around $5 per gallon, taxpayers pay about $1.23 per gallon in state and federal taxes and fees.
We have some new information tonight on Sacramento State's plan to move to a bigger athletic conference. ABC 10's Devin Truby has an exclusive copy of the new study the Sac-12 Council gave to the Pac-12 and new possible donors. Devin.
That's right, Chris. The study highlights all the ways Sac State is equal or greater to current members of the Pac-12. But ABC 10 asked the Sac-12 about the budget concerns. Will the green and gold be in the red or black if they make this move?
It's full steam ahead as Sacramento State continues to make its play to join the Pac-12. ABC10 was given the media market study the Sac-12 Council gave to the Pac-12. Joshua Wood, the co-chair of the Sac-12, making the case that Sacramento is the most underserved sports market. No FBS schools, and for professional athletics, just the Kings until the A's start playing here next year.
Would be the strongest or second strongest media market in the Pac-12. We've got the highest buying power.
The budget and the potential revenue is something to look at. According to the Knight Commission on Intercollegiate Athletics, in 2023, Hornet athletic expenses were $45.3 million. The Sac-12 proposes an athletic budget of $60 million in 2026. ABC10 asked if the expenses of the new conference will overshadow the revenue.
We know that the Pac-12 is actively looking at a new media deal, and we know enough to know that that deal would, if we're part of it, make sense and would be a revenue generator. For us, the math's actually pretty clear on that, just knowing what's current information on the ground.
In the past, students have expressed frustrations with the amount of money and focus now being put on athletics. Wood says he sees the recent approval of increased student fees as a nod that some students are in support of athletics.
They chose to make that investment. I'm happy that they did, because that was their choice to participate in making as part of that process. What I can say as an alumni and as someone who wants to see this region grow is that investment will pay a massive return for our community.
The Sac-12 has an ask for all of you to continue to come to games, especially this Saturday, because part of moving up conferences is continuing to show attendance at athletic events.
Now to the emergency in San Joaquin County. We first brought you this story last night. A levee that separates Victoria Island from the Old River is at risk of failing. This is now prompting an emergency declaration.
But this is just one of more than 100 levee systems in the county, and with the rainy season here, ABC 10's Gabriel Porras has a closer look at what's being done to make sure they hold up.
This small trickle of water at the base of the levee that separates Old River from Victoria Island is a disaster waiting to happen, emergency contractors say.
Our primary concern is if this seepage were to increase, that would demonstrate to us that the 4-foot blanket of earth and fill we placed underwater is either eroded or cracked. The likelihood of that happening is very, very high.
San Joaquin County signing an emergency declaration Wednesday, opening the door to more support for a more permanent fix.
Which I think we have the right tools to do. It's just we need to get the financial wherewithal to perform.
While this levee is getting most of the attention today, San Joaquin County officials say they haven't forgotten about the other levees all across the county, hundreds of miles of them.
We've been working with the Army Corps of Engineers on a major repair in Mormon Slough. That's about 50% completed. There's an erosion repair season that's guided by the state. That season is about to end.
Now, the county's Public Works Department says crews will be transitioning their focus to daily inspections of all levees.
When there's a storm event, we're doing more frequent inspections and coordinating with our Office of Emergency Services, Department of Water Resources, Army Corps of Engineers, and then also getting reports from reclamation districts.
Districts like the one that hired Christopher Nudek's firm.
You see those cracks there? They extended all the way up here.
He says the levees that back up to hundreds of homes across the county are likely safe.
When we look at an urban levee, we know what's in it, we know how it behaves, and we construct it to a standard, at least 100, if not 200-year standard. These are what we would call something less than 50.
Christopher now hoping for at least a few more weeks before the Victoria Island levee's time is up.
Even though there's businesses and plenty of life and health on this island, the level of risk is much lower than it is in the urban settings.
In San Joaquin County, Gabriel Porras, ABC 10.
And as for the levee leak, contractors say they are still looking into it. In the meantime, emergency officials are asking people who live in that area to have supplies and a plan ready just in case the levee deteriorates. Stores and businesses in Truckee welcomed a light dusting of snow today as they prepare to see more visitors.
ABC 10's Roxanne Elias spoke to those who are now excited for the snow and what it means for the area.
Chris and Laura, businesses tell me they're eager to see the snow is here and they can't wait for more because that's what drives people here to the mountains and to small towns like Truckee. Excitement is brewing in Truckee after locals, visitors, and businesses woke up to see snow on the mountains. And they expect to see more of it this weekend.
Frosty beginning, change of season, love it, sunshine, clouds coming in. expecting up to 6 inches of snow, and it's beautiful.
Mike Harity says they embrace this time of year as they wait for visitors to pack businesses.
As you look out on the horizon up in the mountains, you start to see them start to get covered in snow, which is nice because that builds the excitement among skiers and people that travel up here for the winter, and that definitely helps business out.
Philip Miller is the general manager at Moody's Bistro Bar and Beats. He says Thanksgiving weekend is when business really starts to pick up. And by mid-December, the hotel will sell out and the restaurant will be fully booked.
It really depends on us getting snow, and having snow so that people can go out and recreate.
About 10 miles down the road, Boreal Mountain Resort has its sky lifts ready to go after preparing all year for this time of year.
We have been doing our preparations on our snowmaking system, so we've got a lot of cold temps in addition to these storms, and we're going to blow snow around the clock until we're able to open the doors.
Their scheduled opening day is November 22nd, but they always push to be one of the first resorts to open in California. So they're going to continue to blow snow through this next week, and hopefully they can announce an early start to the season.
We're going to see at least 500 people up here for opening day. We've seen days where there's even more than that, and we're just excited to welcome back the faces that we saw last year, as well as teach some new people to learn to ski and snowboard.
And here at home, we're tracking weather impact alerts. About now, kids are starting to head out for some trick-or-treating. So let's bring in Carly with what to expect this Halloween night.
A cool night ahead, huh? I want to be prepared for that.
Definitely bring extra sweaters or jackets for the kids if they're wearing a little less in those costumes. But we are looking at colder conditions through tonight, and temperatures currently, though, in the Big Mountain backyard sitting in the mid-60s. As you continue through your night, we'll be dropping down to the lower 60s and upper 50s. Now, 40 degrees in Tahoe, definitely chilly there as we saw quite a bit of snow falling early this morning in areas around Tahoe, a couple of inches, so that was nice to see, but we're definitely getting a lot more headed our way. That rain fell in the valley today as well, much more than expected, at least for Sacramento, getting up to 1/4 of an inch of rain, about 1/10 of an inch in Auburn, almost a 1/2 inch there in Marysville, and a lot more still coming as we have weather impact alert days Friday through Saturday, as we are looking at valley rain and more Sierra snowfall. That'll start up Friday night, just around Friday night football into your Saturday midday hours to lunchtime. Now, what we're looking at is low pressure beginning to head through the Pacific Northwest and continuing its track there. It'll continue to deepen here with the trough over Northern California throughout your Friday, increasing cloud coverage, and then right behind it, another low pressure sweeping through with a lot more moisture associated with that, bringing those rain totals up for us in the valley, foothills, and more snowfall for the Sierra. Now, a winter weather advisory has been issued until Saturday, 5 p.m. up high, as we are looking at more Sierra snowfall, as much as a few inches around the passes, maybe 3 to 6 inches, but at some of those summits and peaks, we could see as much as a foot of snowfall. Now, with our high resolution forecast here, we are looking at some of that rain coming in right around 6 to 6:30 p.m. north of I-80. More of that snow beginning to trickle in as well. So as you get into your evening hours Friday, get ready for that rain to come through, especially if you have plans for Friday night football at 8:30. We're looking at a line of showers and even downpours coming through. Look at Woodland there, as well as up areas near Yuba City into Roseville, expecting some downpours, and all the way down up and down I-5 and 99. So everyone getting drenched right around anywhere from 7 till about 9 p.m. as we'll continue that track to the southeast here. More snowfall right around 9:30 a.m. though. We're looking at more of the scattered showers. This should start coming to an end closer to the lunchtime hour, at least, with those scattered showers in the valley. Maybe a few more of those flurries up high in the Sierra into the afternoon. Your model rainfall totals could be as much as 1/4 to almost a 1/2 inch of rain up and down those valley spots. So get ready again for some of that heavier rain to head your way. If you're looking to bring in some of the Halloween decorations, you may want to do it Friday morning, lunchtime hour, before that heavy rain comes in. Looking into our foothill spots, mid to low 60s out there, overnight lows in the low 40s and upper 30s, mid 60s around the Bay Area to upper 60s in Vacaville. The Sacramento and San Joaquin Valley spots for your Friday, right around these upper 60s to almost low 70s. You're seeing that there in Manteca with 70 degrees, but overnight lows have been chilly in those mid 40s. Now, what we're going to expect to see Saturday, a little warmer in the overnight lows, but daytime highs still cold as we're looking at some shower chances. And moving into next week, upper 60s to low 70s continuing. Remembering Tuesday is election day there, and we will be looking at that following weekend with temperatures there in the mid to upper 60s, and we may even see another chance for some showers.
So just make it through these next, 2 days or so, right? Okay.
Finally starting to feel like fall, though. I'm excited.
Definitely a lot more leaves on the ground, too.
Okay, Carly, thank you.
this question involves a political ad that shocked people across the country with graphic images. We're not going to show it here. A lesser-known presidential candidate ran an attack ad against Kamala Harris showing gory pictures of human fetuses to make arguments about abortion. The ad aired here on ABC10 multiple times in recent weeks during ABC network programming. And as you can imagine, we've gotten lots of complaints and questions. Jeff emailed me to ask, "Hi, Brandon. I would like to know how Channel 10 is being forced to show that vile, disgusting, horrifying TV commercial. What law can make any TV station do that? If I was a political candidate, could I show anything I wanted in a TV commercial? How about porn?" Jeff, your beef is with the Federal Communications Commission. The FCC makes legally binding rules for the public airwaves that TV and radio stations broadcast on. Broadcasters are legally prohibited by the FCC from censoring a candidate ad. If a PAC wanted to run an ad with the same gory images, it could be rejected. But if the ad comes from a candidate, stations and networks aren't allowed to censor it. In fact, broadcasters are required to sell ads to federal candidates and at discount rates. The ABC network, which does not own ABC10, by the way, did the only thing it could.
The following is a paid political advertisement, and the ABC television network is required to carry it by federal law.
It put disclaimers before and after the ad to warn viewers of the disturbing images and explain the ad has to be allowed to run. As for your other question, Jeff, what if a candidate tried to run an ad with sexually graphic images? I called up some FCC and media law experts I know. They debate questions like yours over coffee. I'm told it's uncharted legal territory, Jeff, but their general thinking is broadcasters probably can reject a candidate ad if it were to have porn in it. And that's because the FCC has other rules against what it defines as obscene or indecent content. Those rules are all about images and cuss words related to sex and other private body parts. But the FCC has made it clear the ad you asked us about has to air. He's showing graphic images to make a political argument. He has a First Amendment right to this speech. And because he's a candidate, the FCC also gives him the right to do that on the air if he buys the ad time. I've only got one silver lining for you on this, Jeff. Come November 6th, it's not going to be a thing for a while. The rules that require broadcasters to sell TV ads to candidates, they only apply in the 60 days before an election. Thanks a lot for asking, and happy voting, Jeff.
Well, happy Halloween to you guys. I am Kevin John, and believe it or not, we are entering the final week of the regular season for high school football. I guess time flies when you're having fun. So you know we have a big game on tap for our Northwest Exteriors Game of the Week. ABC 10's Matt George has the story.
It's everything you could dream of in a final game of the season. 2 regional rivals, 1 game to decide the winner of the Delta League.
The Mustangs are feeling very confident. Like you said, we're 5-0, but that didn't happen overnight. We just worked. We got better throughout the weeks, and everybody's just confident in themselves now. We are now on the same page. They now believe in the system and believe what the coaches are telling them.
The Monterey Trail Mustangs started their season losing 3 of 4 games. They opened league play with just 1 win, and then they took off, winning 5 straight games to sit in first place going into the final week. Now, a lot of teams might try to take it easy in practice this week, playing it safe until Friday night. That's just not the Mustang way.
It's a tradition we call. It's been going on for years and years. It's called Tuesday Bruise Day. It's basically where we just bring our tackling stations, we bring our tackling drills, and we just go at it. But we go at it in a competition because at the end of the day, iron sharpens iron.
Battle lines will be drawn this Friday, with both teams prepared to give their all for a league title. But the game will be played on a foundation of mutual respect.
100%. We respect each other both ways. You know, they're a great football team. I've seen what they can do on tape. They've played great teams, you know. Besides their record, they've played really good football. And, you know, we got to take that into consideration as we go into this week.
Another thing these programs have in common is their loyal fan bases. Both will have their presence felt on Friday night. And if you're on the fence about whether or not you should go, here's an idea of what you can expect.
And it's going to be a hard-nosed, run-the-ball football game. And it's a good way to end the regular season as we head into the playoffs.
Well, just north of New Melones Lake is an underground swimming hole. John Bartel here, making a little pit stop at Coyote Creek Natural Bridges. Calaveras County is home to some of the most visited caves in California, and Coyote Creek Natural Bridges is one of the more unique. What sets this cave apart from others is the fact that you're required to either swim or float through the limestone cavern to admire its beauty.
I could totally see why this is so popular. It is absolutely gorgeous in here.
It's taken centuries for water to shape this geological wonder, but it's only taken humans just a few years to destroy it.
The graffiti is a problem, and we don't understand why people feel a need to do that on federal land. It's actually a felony.
Matt Bowers is with Western Cave Conservancy, a volunteer group that helps preserve caves. And Matt says Natural Bridges needs regular preservation.
This rock and another one, the team spent about 3 hours cleaning the graffiti off this, and a month later it was back.
Natural Bridges is a public space under the jurisdiction of the Bureau of Reclamation. Today, Coyote Creek is a tributary to New Melones Reservoir, but about 245 million years ago, Matt says this area was under the ocean.
A shallow ocean covered this part of the continent, and over years and millennia, the slow etching of that water carved the rock out.
That slow etching of water created what's called natural bridges because there's a clear pathway from one end of the cavern to the other with land on top.
It's really sad to see that someone would want to vandalize such a beautiful place here.
Unfortunately, catching vandals in the act is really the only way to prosecute them. The Western Cave Conservancy goes to great lengths to remove the graffiti during their annual volunteer cleanups, but Matt hopes someday those cleanups won't be needed.
I understand, people wanting to leave their mark, but I'd rather they just take pictures and post it online and appreciate the fact that they were here rather than leaving paint.
From Coyote Creek Natural Bridges, I'm John Bartel. Hope to see you on the back roads.
It is Halloween, so to get into the spirit, the Sacramento Ballet getting ready to debut their performance of Dracula.
That's right, and the performances run from Friday to Sunday at the Safe Credit Union Performing Arts Center. ABC10's Marcus Allen has a preview.
Hey, good morning, you guys, and happy Halloween. You might be asking what I'm dressed as. I'm dressed as a guy about to see a show, and you don't want to be sitting in front of me down in front, because I am that guy. All right, it is Michael Pink's Dracula, presented by Sacramento Ballet. Bram Stoker's Dracula is amazing to begin with, but starting in 1996, Michael Pink had a way to make it even better. How?
It's the most decadent set there is that you can actually rent to bring to your city.
Nice.
Also, it's the one Dracula that stays the closest to the book.
Got it. And is it bringing out your inner Dracula? Are you starting to connect to the character?
Probably the most challenging role of my young career. So, yeah.
And where are you from?
I'm from France.
Dracula has, steep European roots, so you probably connect better than most.
Probably, yeah, French Dracula.
Got it. And a lot of distress from you on stage.
I am Dracula's last victim of the ballet, and he wants me to be his bride, so you have to come and see the show to see if he gets what he wants.
Amazing. And just talking about this venue, so much money has gone into just making sure that acoustically there's not a bad seat in the house.
Oh, it's a wonderful facility. We're just elated to be here. Backstage is amazing. We fill up this whole place. And also, you can have as many photos as you want with many characters.
Yeah, our camera just trying to follow them around during the rehearsal is exhausted. So this has to be a daunting affair for everybody on that stage, including the wolves.
Oh, absolutely. So Dracula can actually control wolves along with bats and other things. And it's a very demanding role.
All right, well, Sacramento Ballet does it right. This is a beautiful production. Michael Pink, what he did 10 years ago to celebrate 100 years of Bram Stoker, does it well. Decadent is the word. We've talked about bats, Dracula, wolves. Everybody on the count of three shout, Happy Halloween! 1, 2, 3.
Happy Halloween!
And with that said, back to you.
Watch out, that Dracula guy likes the neck area. And if you want some details, Dracula does run Friday to Sunday. It is at the Safe Credit Union Performing Arts Center in Sacramento. And the show is recommended for kids 7 and up. For tickets and more info, we have it on our links page, abc10.com.
Thanks so much for watching ABC 10 Plus tonight. Keep in mind, we're here 24/7 on the free ABC 10 Plus app. You can get your news and weather anytime, anywhere. I'm Chris Thomas, and happy Halloween.
This election, the stakes could not be higher.
And ABC 10 has all the national, state, and local election coverage you need.
Watch us live on ABC 10 or streaming on ABC 10 Plus.
For up-to-the-minute results on all our races, propositions, and the contest for the White House.
And we'll break down the results as they come in with our experts. Watch Your Voice, Your Vote Tuesday night live and streaming on ABC 10 Plus. Coverage starts at 5 p.m.
ABC 10, we stand for you.
Thanks for watching ABC 10 Plus. And now that you're here, why don't we take a look around and see what else is here? The very first tile on your left is always going to be streaming 24/7. You can find us adjacent to that, breaking news if it's there. And then right next to that, a replay of the most recent newscast. Whether it's ABC 10 Morning News at 5, 6, or beyond, it's going to be there. The forecast beyond that, and then right beyond that, the news that matters the most. Now that you know the basic tiles, let's go up to the top and take a deeper dive into news. We have every single newscast that you would need, including To the Point with Alex Bell, taking a deeper dive into the issues. Beyond that, ABC 10 Morning News at 5 and 6 and 11, the evening shows as well. Below that, you can watch the top stories from To the Point. Under that, Dollars and Cents, where you can learn how to navigate this challenging economy. And below that, you can watch our award-winning ABC 10 Special Investigations, where we hold the powerful accountable. Going into weather, look, it's the 10-day forecast, getting you ready for the weekend and beyond. Beyond that, sports. I know you care about the Sacramento Kings. We have the most comprehensive guide to anything, everything Kings in the locker room and on the court. We have it. Below that, I know you care about the San Francisco 49ers. We can't mention Bay Sports without talking about the Oakland A's. We have that too. What's super exciting, I know you care about high school sports. You'll never find a more comprehensive guide and team dedicated to high school sports. Backing out again, come up to the top and join me on Verify. I'm super excited about this. Our experts are checking the facts, verifying the truth for you. Jump up now to shows. Very excited about this. Oh, look, it's Take a Look. This is my show. I love movies, and if you love movies or streaming shows, whether it's on screens this big, or this big, it's Take a Look. Recently went behind the scenes, sat down with Lady Gaga and Joaquin Phoenix to talk about Joker 2. I love the movie, and oh, I just heard you shout you hate the movie. Jump in, we talk about it on this show. Other shows, Bartell's Backroads, go up and down the state of California, tank of gas getaways, one fuel cell getaway, like places like the Toy Museum. This is what kids did before they had screens. Over here, the Moaning Caverns of Calaveras County, one of the most coveted caves in all of California. You know, watching this show, I discovered there's a cave that could fit the entire Statue of Liberty in your own backyard. You'll find about that and more with Bartell's Backroads. Down below that, To the Point. It is one of my favorite newscasts because they talk about news with Alex Bell the way you talk about news. It's conversational, but in-depth at the same time. Below that, Your California Life. Love this show. Whether it's entertainment, food, beverage, lifestyle, it's there. Desiree Shepherd hosts and does an amazing job. So there you have it. It's ABC 10 Plus, the app. What do you need? We heard you and we got it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for streaming.